Welcome to Classified Captures.
Steve here, and in today's episode, we're diving deep into the shadows, from eerie clips that hint at hidden conspiracies to rare sightings of cryptids most believe are mere legends. What you're about to see might just change the way you see the world. Let us begin. We start today's episode in Tlaxcala, Mexico, where we've got a bit of a Harry Potter situation going on. When I say Harry Potter, I mean a headless horseman that appears to be haunting the streets just like Headless Nick and the other ghosts haunting Hogwarts. This unusual-looking figure was actually caught on a security camera, and yes, you can hear the sound of a horse's hooves echoing through the night. When you pay close attention to the horse, you realize it's not necessarily solid and appears to have a ghost-like look, although its movement certainly does look like that of a live horse and its rider. When the footage made its way online, the paranormal community shook with excitement. Some felt this was a paranormal being crossing to our plane of existence from their dimension, whereas others felt this might just be a glitch in the Matrix. As always, the skeptics were well represented, with them stating this was nothing but a staged clip. I've watched it over and over, and personally, I feel this could be real, but then again, I like all things that remind me of Harry Potter, which could make me biased. So I actually need your help on this one. What do you think we're dealing with here? Next, we visit Australia, where the Broome Police have allegedly released footage that captures something paranormal. Take a look. So right off the bat, we can say that's not normal. We've all seen lightning in the sky, and that's not what this typically looks like. When you watch the clip, you realize that a shape forms in the sky and then sort of warps and transforms. Once the clip made its way online, the paranormal community started that it had to be a portal. After taking a second and third look, I understand why they thought that, especially with the lightning appearing alongside it. As interesting as all that is, not many in the community are convinced. First of all, this was allegedly recorded from a CCTV camera, but when you take a good look at the clip, you notice that the camera does move around a little. This, to many people, is a sign that this isn't a CCTV camera at work. Next, they point out that the clip looks like a CGI creation made from a satellite dish. I've looked at it and I guess there's enough reason and grounds for skepticism. What do you guys think though? Do you believe this is legit, or is someone just messing with the community? Speaking of someone messing with the community, take a good look at this image. What do you think could have left that track in the snow? If you aren't sure, well, you aren't the only one. Even the individual who captured the image was gobsmacked. Gobsmacked, that's the word, right? Anyway, it was his first time seeing something like this, and it shocked him. He believes it's some sort of large bipedal creature, but he couldn't place his finger on which creature it might be. He was hoping the community could help him, and they did not disappoint. There were many theories, including that it could possibly be a dogman, a wendigo, or a yeti. While these are the names you'd expect to hear in these situations, there were a few odd ones, like it being a dinosaur, an alien, or even a large rabbit. These ones were quickly disregarded, with the community stating it was possibly a dogman or a werewolf. I've seen this clip a couple of times, and I must say that I understand where they're coming from. You've seen the clip as well, so what do you think we're dealing with here? While you think about that, take a good look at this clip that was sent to us by a confused and concerned individual in the community. While going through his CCTV cam footage, he came across what's been playing on your screen. Initially, he thought it might be a bug, but in all his years, he hadn't seen a bug reflect light so well, which made him think it might be something paranormal. Being what some might consider paranormal experts, he asked if we knew what this was or understood what he was dealing with. Most individuals in the community had already pointed out that it was probably a spider, but spiders can't reflect light now, can they? I did the research and the findings might surprise you. Yes, some spiders can appear to reflect light in CCTV footage, especially in night vision mode, which uses infrared light. Many spiders, particularly those with smoother glossy bodies and reflective eyes, can reflect IR light from the camera's LEDs, making them look like glowing or shiny blobs. Their eyes may appear to glow due to the reflective structure, and their silk webs can also catch and reflect light, creating strange streaks or flashes of footage. This often happens when spiders build webs close to cameras, making their movements and bodies appear unusually bright or ghostly in recordings. So while a paranormal creature might sound more exciting, this one is most definitely an ordinary and very reflective spider. If Ariel was your favorite character growing up, then chances are you believe mermaids are real and out there. If that's you, then this clip will certainly excite you. What do you think this is? If it wasn't obvious already, the uploader believes he came across the remains of a mermaid by the beach. The seawater often washes things to the shore, and while it's brought some interesting stuff to our shores, I doubt any are as interesting as this. While some in the paranormal community believe these discoveries are legit, there are also some who think it's fake and nothing to write home about. Take a good look and share your opinion as well.
So is this the real deal? Or are we looking at another fake and cheap attempt?
Being home alone can be unnerving, but what if, while filming around your house, you discover that you're not alone? Two siblings were home alone when they decided to record something strange they'd noticed earlier. The sound was coming from their closet. At first, it seemed like nothing, but then through the darkness, they saw it. A pale face, motionless, ghostly, peering out from the shadows. It didn't blink. It didn't flinch. It just stared directly at them watching. The siblings were too scared to approach, so they kept their distance and filmed the closet from across the room. But here's where things get even creepier. On the closet door was a small mirror, and as it slowly opened on its own, you could briefly see the reflection of the siblings. And just as the mirror shifted, the pale figure vanished. To this day, there's no update on what they saw, or whether they ever found out who or what was hiding in their closet. But let's hope they got rid of that thing. Honestly, would you ever sleep in that room again?
Parte de ahí, por la... ¿Será que me acerco?
Sí.
Ni se ve.
Almost everyone enjoys that fizzy, iconic taste of Coca-Cola. In fact, I'm taking one now as I work on this video. It's sipped in homes, restaurants, and street corners all over the world. But with the rise in diabetes and other sugar-related health conditions, many have turned to what they believe is a healthier option: diet soda, especially Diet Coke, which is proudly marked as having zero sugar. But does zero sugar really mean it's safe? Well, not quite. Recent studies have begun raising serious concerns about the use of Diet Coke's main ingredients, aspartame, the artificial sweetener that gives it this signature taste without the sugar. Here's what research has revealed. Aspartame may actually spike insulin levels, ironically something people with diabetes are actively trying to avoid. Even worse, it has been linked to inflammation in the blood vessels. Some studies suggest it causes immune cells to attack artery walls, which can lead to the growth of plaque inside those arteries, putting your heart at risk over time. And that's not all. While Diet Coke is marked as a healthier option, many health experts are now saying it might be more dangerous than originally thought, especially if consumed regularly over time. The truth is, the label might say zero sugar, but that doesn't always mean zero risks. So this one comes from a bus driver who had a bizarre experience during his last ride of the night. His bus was supposed to be empty, but after going by a cemetery, he noticed there was someone there with him from the camera feed in the bus. Thinking he might have missed her or her turn, he turned around to address her, but saw no one when he turned around. He went to the back to check, and as he suspected, she wasn't there. But he'd captured her in his camera some few seconds ago, and the footage was actually there to prove it. This scared them and got them thinking, what sort of person appears in a camera yet isn't seen by the naked eye? And that's when it hit him. He might have actually encountered a ghost. He then shared the clip on one of the paranormal pages soliciting opinions. Looking at the clip, my team believes that might be the case if he's telling the truth, but well, what do you also think? Next, we visit a clip from the UK that was recorded on the 29th of December 2019 in the woods. Imagine seeing a herd of deer and following them through the woods because you wanted to get good footage. After a few minutes of recording, you're satisfied with the footage you get and go home. Once home, you start to review the clips. They're shaky, but well, hey, who cares? It's basically a home video you recorded for yourself. What's more, you captured your favorite animal in the world. All is well. Until you notice one thing, though, as you go through the clip. There's a gray figure hanging from one of the trees that you didn't notice while filming. Now you're stuck with a mystery. Who or what was that? That was the exact story behind the clip on your screens right now. When he sought the opinions of members of the paranormal community, many told him that he'd most likely encountered an alien. Some thought the idea of an alien was preposterous, but were in favor of it being a rake or something along those lines. A small sect of the community, however, believed this was just an elaborate setup to trick believers in the paranormal. Personally, I think it could be any of these, but let's hear your thoughts as well. Next, we head to Florida, where this clip was recorded. Imagine seeing this in the skies as you take a stroll through the city. What would be your first thought? If you said aliens, well, you wouldn't be alone, because that's exactly what the ones who uploaded the clip felt they were dealing with here. Personally, when I saw it, I felt it was a convincing take, but Aaron, our conspiracy theorist, asked me to double-check because, well, he didn't want issues with Julius, our in-house scientist. After doing some checks, I came across a comment on the same video that had been shared on a different platform. If this person is to be believed, then it's SpaceX. If not, then we can safely say it's a calculated attempt to make the truth lose its power. Personally, I want to believe this is true, but I couldn't find the footage.
Can anyone in Florida confirm this for me?
What is that? Bro, there's two that live here. I don't care. What is that? Oh. You guys, I'm telling you, it's aliens. It's literally aliens, and there's
Imagine getting ready to dig into a plate of fresh seafood. You crack open the shell, expect juicy meat, and out crawls this. A fat, squirming, alien-looking creature with dozens of tiny legs and sharp spikes down its sides. If you've already been uncomfortable, well, good, because what you're looking at is a bristleworm. Bristleworms are marine creatures found all over the world, especially in tropical and temperate ocean waters. They typically hide in coral reefs, rocky crevices, and in the sand. But they can end up in your seafood alive and well, especially if that seafood was harvested straight from the ocean with minimal processing. They come in many forms, but the one people fear most is the fireworm, which is a venomous version covered in hollow bristles that can inject a painful toxin when touched. Touching a fireworm can result in burning pain, hence the name, redness and swelling, skin irritation that lasts for days, and in some rare cases, allergic reactions. Those white bristles on its side are not just for show. They detach like tiny harpoons and embed into your skin, delivering a sting that can feel like you grabbed a cactus. And guess what? These creatures can regrow lost body parts, which is why cutting them in half doesn't kill them. It just makes two problems instead of one. So how did one end up in a plate of seafood? This next footage comes straight from a security camera set up by a homeowner, and what it captured in the middle of the night is something that no one can explain. It's a quiet night, and the yard is empty, surrounded by mesh walls with a few streetlights barely lighting the space. Everything seems normal until you look at the left side of the footage. Suddenly, a bright object descended from the sky. It's not shaped like a drone or plane or anything we normally recognize. It has this weird fluid shape, like transparent flames, and it just glides across the yard. Then just like that, the footage ends. This object doesn't flicker like fire, it doesn't move like any animal, it just drifts eerily smooth across the scene. Some viewers have called it a ghost, while others believe it could be some kind of spirit or entity, maybe something like a dream spirit or an energy being. But here's the thing. This doesn't look like any common anomaly. It's not a bug, not a camera glitch, and it doesn't behave like light glare either. So what did this camera capture? A man decided to explore an old railway track deep in the woods, and what he ended up witnessing was something no one could explain.
Alright guys, what in the world do we have here again? It's another one of those unmanned ghost trains. Don't know where it came from. Don't know where it's going. This time it's in reverse. No one's driving.
It was an old train, rusted and weathered, with parts of it made from wood. The thing looked like it belonged in a museum, not on a railway. But this railway has been abandoned for years. There was no scheduled trains, no maintenance, no reason for anything to be on those tracks, and yet here it was rolling forward, all on its own. Even stranger, the train was empty. No conductor, no passengers. He checked the engine. It was dead. No fuel, no power, no explanation for how it was moving. As the train creaked forward, it made these eerie, mechanical groans. Locals who saw the footage started calling it a ghost train, believing it was haunted and doomed to travel that abandoned stretch forever. Others, more skeptical, think, well, maybe it's just some mechanical quirk making it move. But here's what doesn't sit right: the way it moves. It doesn't roll naturally, it's rather slow and calculated. So what was this? A forgotten train left behind by time, or something much more paranormal?
It's another one of those unmanned ghost trains. Don't know where it came from. Don't know where it's going. This time it's in reverse. No one's driving.
A man found something terrifying right in his backyard. The footage he captured has shaken the internet. It happened late at night just behind his house. He noticed something crouched down in the grass, barely moving but alive. At first, he thought it might be a wounded animal, but as he stepped closer, he realized this thing looked almost human. It was completely naked, pale, and curled up on the ground. Its limbs were long, too long, and it looked extremely thin, like it hadn't eaten in days. And then it lifted its head and stared right at him, and that's when he panicked. Because this thing had glowing eyes, not like an animal reflecting light, but glowing on their own. Its face was, and its gaze was terrifying. The man didn't wait to get a better look. He turned and ran as fast as he could back inside and locked the doors. So what was it? Some viewers believe it was a skinwalker, others think it might be a rake, another terrifying creature often described as pale and human-like. Was this just a sick person out in the dark, or did this man actually catch something otherworldly lurking just beyond the safety of his home? The moment I saw these images, I thought this fish came straight from hell. Just look at it. It's pitch black, but the most unsettling part is its mouth. This thing has razor-sharp teeth that look more like a miniature crocodile than any normal fish. And no, this isn't a hoax. This is a real creature known as the viper dogfish. The viper dogfish is known for its long, slender body, dark, almost ink-like skin, and those absolutely terrifying jaws. It has needle-sharp fangs that are so long that they don't even fit inside its mouth properly, so they curve outward, giving it a permanent snarl. Its jaws are designed to snap shut like a bear trap, and they're built for ambush. It also has a strange ability to extend its jaw outward, almost like it's dislocating it, just to snatch prey in the blink of an eye. Once it latches onto something, there's no escape. Small fish, squid, and anything that crosses its path is gone in seconds. Even though the viper dogfish is rarely seen by humans, fishermen have occasionally pulled them up in the deep-sea nets, usually from depths of 300 to 1,400 meters or even deeper. But when they do appear, it's not uncommon for people to think they found some kind of alien life form. Speaking of strange and unknown life forms, what do you think this is? Alien, right? Those were my first thoughts too. The funny and weird thing, however, is that no one knows where this clip came from or who was behind the recording. It certainly does look like an alien life form, but doesn't look like any creature we're used to seeing. But then again, when we strip creatures of their flesh and look at their skeletal makeup alone, they sometimes look weird. Believe me when I say you wouldn't believe what the skull of a cat looks like. Well, back to the subject at hand.
So what do you think of this? Do you think it's legit, or is someone just pulling our legs?
How do you feel about having chips in your pets? Sounds convenient, doesn't it? A way to track them and always get them home so they aren't lost, and some other benefits. But what if I told you this could actually be hurting them? Some researchers have recently come out to state the radio frequencies being emitted by the chips could actually give your pets cancer. Conspiracy theorists were also quick to add that this is an attempt at controlling the masses, and they're starting with our pets. I know these things sometimes sound out of touch with reality, but who would have thought baby food sold by some prominent companies years ago was actually hurting them instead of nourishing them? The worst thing is, the company behind it knew they were potentially killing the children, but went ahead anyway because of profits. What's to say that's not the same thing going on here? Beyond that, it could easily be spy tech, but that's a conspiracy you're not ready for today, and if I'm honest with you, nor am I. So let's move on to the next.
Go like this, pull the skin up, put it in, make sure it's in, and push it in. If you don't make sure that it's in, you're gonna have a microchip hanging out, and you're gonna have to redo it, and it's a real pain because you have to sterilize it.
One thing we're used to seeing is children running around the house and shouting and making noise. But what do you do when instead of children running around your house, you got shadows instead? Not shadows of people in the house, but shadows that seem to appear from nowhere. Sounds like a fictional story, right? But for the woman recording the clip you've been watching, it's not. After unsuccessfully trying to capture these shadows, she ended up capturing one in the clip that you're watching. Believe it or not, this shadow that passes by, according to her, isn't the shadow of anyone in the room. It's one of many shadow figures that run around the walls of her house. Members of the paranormal community think she's got a bunch of ghosts living with her. Some also think she's dealing with shadow people. Julius, our in-house scientist, however, believes we're looking at edited video. My video editor also seems to agree with him, so what do you guys think?
No, come back, come back. No, you come back. Go straight, look straight towards me. No, turn towards me like you were earlier. Put your back towards me.
This video is almost a year old, and it allegedly comes all the way from the Appalachian Mountains. In the clip, we see a humanoid creature sneaking around what looks like a residential property without being caught. This was allegedly uploaded by the owner of the property, who felt someone had been visiting his property. He installed the cameras to catch the person, and this is what he captured. He found it scary and wanted to know if this was a burglar or something more. Some in the community believe it's a skinwalker, whereas others mentioned it's a duende. Skinwalker maybe, but duendes? Well, those creatures are small, which does rule them out. But what do you guys also think? A passenger was flying at cruising altitude, just zoning out, staring out the window, when he noticed something very strange. There was a shadow on the earth below, long, straight, and sharp. It looked like the shadow of a massive beam or structure stretching across the sky, but there was nothing in sight that could have cast it. No visible plane, no object in the sky, just a clean blue stretch, and yet this perfectly straight shadow was being projected downward. It's eerie. Some people who've seen in the footage say it might be from the plane the passenger was in, possibly a shadow from its contrail or chemtrail. For those who are familiar with the chemtrail theories, well, you know, the rabbit hole goes deep. Some believe these trails aren't just water vapor, but are packed with chemicals being released into the atmosphere for weather control, population influence, and even cloaking technology. So is this shadow just a weird optical illusion, or did this passenger accidentally catch something on camera that wasn't meant to be seen? Every once in a while, we're told to go for scans and medical checkups to ensure everything inside is working fine. One of the most common scans we're asked to do is the CT scan. But have you ever actually seen what a CT scan machine looks like without its outer shell? Well, this right here is a CT scanner in motion, but with its casing removed, and it looks like nothing what you'd expect. The ring that calmly rotates around you when you're inside, without the cover, it becomes this fast-moving mechanical beast spinning at a speed that honestly feels kind of unsettling. With the casing off, this thing isn't just exposed, it's dangerous. The moving parts are rapid, precise, and unforgiving. And since these machines use radiation to scan its body, it's not something you want to be close to when it's operating like this. Back in 2022, someone captured a chilling video while visiting Lake Labunkir in the heart of Siberia. From a distance, they spotted something massive disturbing the water's surface, gliding and creating ripples far too large to be caused by an ordinary fish. And here's the kicker. Even though the footage was taken from far off and is admittedly shaky, whatever was in that water, it looked huge and long. Now, this isn't the first time Lake Labunkir has made headlines. This lake has had a monster legend trailing it for decades. Locals and adventurers have passed down tales of a reptilian creature lurking beneath its cold, dark waters. Some have even claimed it's a surviving prehistoric beast, similar in vibe to Nessie, the famous Loch Ness monster of Scotland. But Labunkir has something unique. Unlike most legends, this one has some backing from science. Back in the 1950s, a Soviet geologist reported strange sonar readings from the lake, indicating a massive object moving under the water. And get this, divers who've gone down there have even reported skeletons of large unknown animals at the lake bed. We're talking about a lake that freezes over half the year, is extremely deep, and has underwater caves that haven't even been fully mapped. If anything strange were to survive undetected, this would be the perfect hiding spot. Back to the 2022 footage, while skeptics say it could be a big fish or even a hoax, those who've seen the video in full say it's hard to explain away. A man decided to take a late-night walk one night around midnight. He'd been tossing and turning in bed, unable to sleep, and figured a walk might tire him out enough to finally get some rest. So he stepped out and wandered into the neighborhood, but as he passed by one particular house, something stopped him in his tracks. What he saw shocked him so much that he immediately pulled out his phone and started recording. In the footage, you can clearly see what looks like a child, or rather a childlike entity at the front door of the house. But here's the thing. This thing wasn't standing on the ground like a normal person. It was upside down, crawling along the top of a doorframe, its limbs moving in a way that just did not seem human. And then it let out this strange, high-pitched laughter that chilled the man to his core. That's when he turned and bolted the hell out of there. Later on, it was discovered that this house already had a dark reputation. Locals believe it's haunted. Apparently, there have been a number of strange accidents and bizarre happenings in and around the house, and most people avoid going anywhere near it. But no one really knows the exact cause of all that weirdness.
Jam berapa? Jam 12 nih. Kembali teh. Bita sendiri pa, sunyi. Patule. Kamu lihat teh. Teh. Itu Dari sih. Itu.
They say that when it's not your time to die, nothing can actually take you out, and after watching this next clip, that saying might actually be true. This footage comes from a street security camera. In it, you see a man casually crossing the road, but out of nowhere, a car comes speeding straight toward him. The way it's heading, he's supposed to get hit, but there's no way around it. The car doesn't stop. It crashed right into the pavement island in the middle of the road, clearly damaged from the impact. But here's where it gets strange. The man just walks by completely untouched, not a scratch on him. It's like he didn't even notice what just happened. Let's watch that again. The car definitely hits something and there's damage, but the man walks straight through the path of the car as if it wasn't even there. It honestly looks like he phased right through it. Some people online are saying maybe the camera glitched and that a few frames might be missing, but when you watch closely, nothing seems to be out of sync. Everything else in the footage looks normal. You can clearly see the moment the car makes an impact with the street divider. So what are we looking at here? Some are saying it's a ghost, others think maybe this guy has some kind of guardian angel protecting him, or maybe, just maybe, it really wasn't his time to go and something out there made sure of that. These days, with AI getting more advanced by the minute, trying to figure out what's real and what's fake has become a whole lot harder. You see something wild on the internet and the first thing you wonder is this real or did someone whip it up with AI? Some stuff is easy to spot if it's fake, but then there's those clips that land right in the middle, not obviously fake and not easy to explain either. That's what makes them so frustrating and kind of fascinating. Now, take a look at this footage, for example. Someone shared this video of a black mass just floating around. It's not shaped like anything. It looks like liquid, but it moves in this strange shifting way like it's alive or at least aware. The form keeps warping and stretching. Folks are calling it AI generated, but others aren't so sure since it looks very real. If it is AI, then someone's getting scarily good at it. So what are we really looking at here? There have been a lot of supposed Bigfoot sightings caught on camera over the years, and sure, in some cases, we eventually find out that it's not a cryptid at all, just a person in a suit trying to stir up some attention. But over time, people who study these things have figured out a little trick to spot the fakes, and it all comes down to one detail: the arms. Now, take a look at these two images. This footage was taken in the woods and shows what looks like the back of a creature believed by some to be Bigfoot walking away into the trees. In this footage, the creature's arms are long, like really long, so long they actually reach past the knees, and that's not something you see in a normal human. In fact, according to Bigfoot researchers and enthusiasts, one of the signs of a genuine sighting is those unusually long arms. It's a feature that shows up again and again in the most convincing footage and eyewitness accounts. But skeptics still say that it could be fake. But if it is, then whoever made it knew what they were doing, because pulling off that kind of arm length, especially while moving naturally, isn't easy in a costume. Someone recently shared a very strange video online with no context, just the footage, and the internet has been running wild with theories ever since. In the video, it's nighttime. A storm is raging outside and there's a glass door. Right there at the glass door, as the lightning lights up the night, you see a cat. Now, that might sound normal until you really look. The cat is just sitting there, not blinking, not moving, just this intense, unwavering stare. You think that with the storm going on, the poor thing would be looking for shelter or meowing to be let in, but no, this feline looked too calm, too still, like it had a purpose. People online are trying to figure out what's going on here. One theory says the person filming might be its former owner who abandoned the cat, gave it away, or worse, and now the cat's come back, not for shelter, but for something else. Revenge, maybe? Another theory is that it's the ghost of a pet that once lived in that home and it returned on a stormy night to find its former human.
Whatever the case is, one thing's for sure, that wasn't just a random look. It meant something.
Have you ever had crawfish before? Do you know how they are made? Well, let's dive into how these creatures are harvested and prepared, because they're not from the sea. Crawfish may look like little lobsters, and while they share some similarities, they actually live in a very different environment. Unlike lobsters, which are found in salt water, crawfish reside in muddy freshwater habitats. You'll typically find them living in ponds, rivers, and swamps. To harvest crawfish, one of the most common methods is using traps, but there's another way people catch crawfish, and it's by hand. As you can see in this video, a hand reaches down into the earth. Crawfish love to burrow down into the mud for safety, and with a little skill, a fisherman can pull them out of their muddy hiding spots. Once the crawfish are caught, they're often boiled with all sorts of spices and seasonings. The traditional Louisiana-style crawfish boil includes not just the crawfish, but also potatoes, corn, and sausage, cooked all together in a big pot bursting with flavor. The spices make it even more exciting, turning it into a real feast. So have you ever tried crawfish? If you haven't, maybe it's time to join in on one of those crawfish boils that everyone's talking about. Someone recently shared a strange video online asking if you would swim in it for $1 million. In the footage, there's what looks like a body floating in the water, moving around in a way that has left people questioning its origins. While some suggest this could be a ballast tank, the truth is a bit different. A ballast tank is an enclosed section of a ship designed to hold water, keeping the vessel stable when there's no cargo or during rough seas. But this isn't a ballast tank. What we're actually seeing here looks more like a well deck. A well deck is an open part of a ship that's typically located near the middle or bottom, where it's often used to load and unload small boats or equipment. Unlike ballast tanks, well, decks aren't completely enclosed. They're more open to the elements, making them more accessible for various ship operations. This setup is far less hazardous compared to a ballast tank, which is completely submerged and sealed off deep in the hull. A gang of adventurers living it up on a glacier, having the time of their lives when they stumble onto something that turns their icy expedition into a frosty riddle. The ice surface is solid, supporting their weight, but here's the kicker. When they peek through it, there's water underneath. Now what in the chilly world is happening here? It's like the ice is playing a sneaky game of optical illusions, treating them to a liquid magic show right under their boots. Is it a secret entrance to an underwater wonderland, or just Mother Nature flaunting her icy tricks? The glacier seems to be keeping its secrets on ice, leaving our adventurers in awe and probably scratching their heads a bit. Turns out, ice adventures aren't just about epic views, they also come with front row seats to nature surprises. In the depths of the forest captured by a trail camera, a perplexing scene unfolds as four dark-furred creatures work collaboratively to bring down a tree. The way they move, the unsettling noise they make, and their coordinated effort add an air of mystery to the footage. As people watch this mysterious video, speculations about their identity range from mundane explanations like monkeys to more fantastical suggestions involving young Bigfoot. The creature's determination to break the tree into two raises questions about their behavior and purpose. Could they be a known species of primates displaying an unusual behavior, or does this footage offer a glimpse into the elusive and legendary world of Bigfoot, suggesting a social structure and collaborative activities? Nature's throwing us another curveball, and this time it's ants staging a weird forest dance. Imagine stumbling upon this oddity in the heart of the woods, a bunch of ants locked in a mysterious circle, all hustling around a peculiar white stone. Now, animals are like Mother Nature's early warning system, bright, so when you spot ants behaving like they just discovered the insect version of a dance floor, it's bound to raise some eyebrows. They're all in this circular hustle, seemingly fixated on a white stone at the center, and there's the strange white fluid on the grass, adding an extra layer of intrigue. What's the deal, Mother Nature? Is this an ant rave or a secret insect council meeting? Are they summoning ant deities, or is it just an oddly organized ant picnic? Imagine buying a pet turtle and coming home one day to see it floating above your tiled floor. What on earth is this, and are animals now learning spells too? If you look closely around its legs, you may see what looks like rags holding them. But look again. Do you see it now? They look like mini humans swimming with it. Are these the beings responsible for the strange things that we are seeing? Or is the turtle their master and they're simply there to do what it desires? It's hard to say, and we couldn't find anything of this sort in our paranormal books. Can anyone amongst you help us with any explanation?
Listen, that'd be crazy. Hold on.
Alright, picture this. It's 11 p.m. in Eastern Oregon, and this guy is strolling home minding his own business. But suddenly, he's hit with this bizarre symphony of laughter echoing from the woods.
It's actually gotten closer since it started.
We're talking hyena vibes mixed with a dash of doggy humor. And get this, it goes on for a solid 20 minutes, with the laughter gradually getting closer each time. Now, some folks are throwing around theories like it's Bigfoot throwing a comedy night in the forest, while others are whispering about possible skinwalker shenanigans. But truth be told, nobody's got the scoop on what exactly is going down in those woods. Talk about stumbling upon the holy grail of Bigfoot evidence. In the aftermath of a heavy snowstorm, a dedicated group of Bigfoot enthusiasts stumbled upon a remarkable spectacle. There were imprints of large feet, footprints that exceeded the size of an average human foot by 2 or 3 times. As they carefully examined the prints etched in the snow, a fascinating revelation unfolded before their eyes. The sheer size of the footprints varied, suggesting the presence of not just one, but potentially a family of these elusive creatures.
Yeah, I mean, the foot is melted away to make it look bigger. But look at
see,
the top of these right here.
Yeah.
Here, and then it was the whole hill.
And let me ask you something.
Here, whole hill.
If you're looking down at these, do you know something different about this grouping?
There's a small one and
There's
a
a
big
small one and a big one.
Some imprints were notably smaller, hinting at the possibility of a youngling walking alongside its more massive counterpart. I'm pretty sure that by now, everyone watching this video will have at some point in their life heard the phrase, the cat lady. But if this next clip proves anything, it's that even a man could wear that cap. Just in case you're confused and wondering what you're watching, want to know more, the footage was taken by a man who owns all the cat species. Yes, a man who owns them and not a woman, so no more teasing the woman who loves to have cats. Anyway, you must have noticed that these cats have glowing eyes. Yes, it would be a freakish sight for anyone seeing it for the first time. You might be tempted to believe they're bewitched, which is the very first thing our new intern said when he saw the footage. But if you have owned a cat for a while, then you know that such sights are pretty common at night, and these cats are definitely not possessed. The glowing eyes are due to a specialized layer in their eyes called the tapetum lucidum. While it may look freakish, it has great benefits for our little felines, with the most noticeable one being night vision. Yes, it helps them see much better than we can see at night. Imagine if we had them too. On second thought, don't. I mean, if we had them, everyone would look freakish at night and our night photos would be, well, let's just say, weird. In recent times, Bigfoot have gained such popularity that any hairy creature glimpsed in the woods is promptly labeled as one. Observe this footage captured in the woods where you can see a furry being frolicking within its wooded surroundings. The uploader of the footage is rather convinced that it's a Bigfoot. When we examine it, however, we realize that there's something suspicious about it. There's an oddly human quality to this creature. Although I'm tempted to suggest it's a shaggy human, it isn't. Instead, my suspicions lean toward it being a person in a costume. What's your take on this? Now, sticking with the Bigfoot vibe, let's step into the world of eerie sounds echoing through the woods. In this captivating footage, someone catches a unique sound that they're pretty convinced is connected to Bigfoot. The audio captures this loud grunt-like growl that ripples through the whole forest. So here's the big question. Is this really the mysterious Bigfoot doing its communication thing, or could it be the call of some unknown creature? Maybe, just maybe, it's a well-played prank by someone who loves a good mystery. The vast and mysterious ocean has long been a source of fascination and fear. In this footage, we're confronted by what I can only describe as a mysterious sight. Colossal creature whose immense size is only confirmed by the tumultuous whirlwinds it stirs within the sea. The thunderous sound accompanying its movement add an ominous undertone to the unfolding story. As speculation ensues among the passengers, the question lingers. Could this be a sea monster, a creature of myth and legend, or does a more rational explanation exist for this marine anomaly? This next footage was captured in someone's backyard in the middle of the night. In the video, you can spot what appears to be a person dressed in black clothing walking by. However, midway through the camera's view, this person inexplicably vanishes. Upon further examination, this figure, if we can even call it that, appears ghostly, almost transparent. Pay particular attention to the upper part of the body where its head should be. There's nothing there. Instead, there seems to be two pairs of luminous orbs that resemble eyes from whatever mysterious entity this might be. I've never heard of ghosts with eyes that glow like crystals. Have you? Regardless, this is some wild footage. This footage emerged on the internet back in 2006, shot in someone's backyard. Mysterious noises had been emanating from the area for a while, prompting an investigation one night. However, what they stumbled upon left them questioning their property purchase. There, lying on the ground, was a pale entity with a head and arms reminiscent of a human. This figure appeared to be sleeping on the ground. As they drew nearer, the creature awoke, turning its face to reveal a terrifying visage with glowing eyes. When this footage first surfaced, opinions were divided. Some believed it to be genuine, while others claimed it was a staged creation involving CGI. This is what some refer to as the rake, but regardless of its authenticity, it still sends a spine-chilling shiver down my back. Doesn't it do the same to yours? Speaking of mysterious captures, we don't have any from you guys featured in today's episode. Please send in your clips. As long as they're bizarre and out of this world, we'll feature them. And if you're unsure of what you captured, don't worry. I'm sure the thousands of subscribers who watch the videos could help you make sense of it. Simply send it to classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. Moving on. Under the shroud of night, as this adventurer embarked on a boat journey through the mysterious swamp, an unexpected and eerie symphony captured their attention. In the stillness of the night, the distant tolling of a church bell reverberated through the air, resonating across the expansive forest. What made this occurrence particularly peculiar was the absence of any visible church in the vicinity. The haunting sound, typically associated with places of worship, seemed to emerge from the depths of the darkness itself. The discordance between the natural surroundings of the swamp and the unnatural tolling added an air of mystery to the nocturnal escapade. As the boat gently glided through the swamp's waterways, the enigmatic chiming persisted, leaving us to wonder, is that from a ghost church? Two guys went into this creepy place and found something totally out of the ordinary. Inside this mysterious structure, they spotted a weird hole in the wall that hid who knows what. Feeling curious, or maybe a bit mischievous, the guys chucked a rock into the darkness, and, surprise, surprise, something unexpected happened. A creature jumped up, spreading its wings in a defensive move. The noise it made wasn't your typical bird soundtrack. It was more like a hint that it was not an ordinary creature. The men, now scared, ran off as fast as they could, leaving us to wonder what creature that was. Kangaroos are such bullies in wildlife. They will just grab onto anything that comes toward them. Take a look at the situation here. A man went out with his 3 dogs when he realized one was missing. He went searching for it when he spotted it in the river under the tight grip of a kangaroo. He held onto the dog's neck so tightly in the water that the dog was getting out of breath. Luckily, the owner came right on time to rescue his pet, but not after his phone got smacked into the water and the kangaroo attempted to attack him as well. But he did come out safely with all 3 dogs, except for one panting for breath, and the owner ended up with a few scratches from the kangaroo's claws. What a man thought would be some quality bonding time with his son ended with them running out of the woods in terror. This man had gone walking with his little boy in the woods. As they had settled in an area just enjoying nature, the man heard some footsteps behind him, so he took out his camera and started looking around. That is when he caught a glimpse of a dark figure a feet away from them. The man didn't see what it was, but something in him just told him to get the hell out of there. Without wasting time, he told his son to start running while he followed behind. They ran for a while and came to a stop. When he looked back, he saw that the dark figure was still after them, but luckily they had put a safe distance between them and it. To this day, no one knows what was there, but the man's instincts proved that whatever it was not safe to be around it. You know that feeling of being watched when you're walking all alone in a secluded place? Well, this footage was taken by a woman who was hiking in California when she felt uncomfortable, like someone was watching. As she glances around, a realization hits her. The weird feeling she's got isn't just a figment of her imagination. Right there, perched on a tree with this almost primal stillness, is a creature, one she's convinced is a Bigfoot. Peeking from a distance, the creature subtly reveals only a glimpse of its head and shoulders, but that sighting packs a serious punch. It sets off a bunch of questions and wild guesses. Is it some sort of forest guardian, a mythical being checking out the hiker passing by, or is it just a game of shadows and leaves playing tricks on us? Farms are mostly targets of wild animals because of the abundance of meek prey that cannot defend themselves, especially when the farm is closer to the woods. In this footage, a farmer was filming her animals when she noticed something strange in the woods behind the animals. A big, shadowy creature hanging out in the woods right behind the animals. It's moving quickly, giving off this kind of stalking vibe. And then, just like that, it vanishes into the dark. The farmer, watching all this go down, starts thinking maybe this isn't your everyday predator. The idea that it could be some paranormal creature starts crossing their mind. Encounters like these fuel speculation about the presence of mysterious beings in the vicinity of farms. While it's challenging to draw definitive conclusions from the footage, the eerie and elusive nature of the creature is very convincing. What do you guys think? This diver just looked at death in the face, and I mean literally. She had strapped on her diving suit and was a second away from jumping into the sea when she spotted a huge creature emerging from the water. She backed down and moved backwards, only to see a huge shark with its mouth wide open waiting for her to jump right in. Thankfully, quick thinking and a sixth sense saved her from going on an involuntary shark date. It's like a real-life thriller, the diver who dodged Jaws. Note to self, sometimes it's okay to bail on that daring dive if your gut says, no, well, yeah, maybe not today. Our next footage is one of the reasons why we shouldn't mess around in the woods. This video was taken by an adventurer who went into the woods at night. I don't know about the reason why he did this, but I'm sure he's never going near the forest for a while. As he was roaming, he caught sight of this hideous creature in the woods. The creature had strange burnt-like skin. Its fingers were clawed and its ears were pointed. I don't know, but if you ask me, it looks like some sort of demonic dwarf. Naturally, our adventurer who saw this creature did not waste any more time there. He left as fast as his tired legs would allow him. I mean, who knows what else was roaming the woods, and who knows what their response to his presence could be. Either way, does any of you know with certainty what this is, or do I need to hit the paranormal books? Now, this next one is quite an intriguing tale from the heart of the wilderness. In the year 2020, Scott Carpenter, a dedicated Bigfoot researcher, embarked on a camping expedition into the depths of the woods. Little did he know that his journey would lead to a captivating discovery that would fuel the age-old debate surrounding the elusive Bigfoot. In the video, a colossal dog-furred creature emerges behind the tent, casting a towering silhouette against the wilderness. The creature seemed curious about the strange structure in its territory. It pokes the tent with a tree branch and then moves away to stand behind the tree, still looking at the tent. Carpenter was very excited about this encounter and decided to share it. What do you think of this? During a sunset moment, someone came across a strange spectacle. There seemed to be 3 different lights behind a cloud. Now, scientifically speaking, this phenomenon is known as a sundog or parhelion. It occurs when sunlight is refracted through ice crystals in the atmosphere, creating bright spots on either side of the sun. These spots can sometimes give the illusion of multiple suns, leading to breathtaking and somewhat surreal visuals. Nature has a way of surprising us with its optical illusions, making us pause and marvel at the wonders of the world. Have you ever encountered any other intriguing natural phenomena? Snow, 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 my old nemesis. That's a tale for another day, though. What do you see when you look at this footage? Just bits and pieces of snow, right? But take a closer look. A few meters from the truck, you should see a discernible yet faint ghostly image move. What could that be? Well, no one can say for sure because one of the images is blurry and faint, and two, the subject we're interested in is quite the distance away. Some who even saw the footage believe it could just be an insect being mistaken to be something more due to the blurry nature of the footage. I almost bought into that theory till I saw the dog at the end of the footage, looking in the direction of the ghostly image. If we needed proof of something being there, then that's our proof. The question now is, what is that? Ghost? Genie? An ethereal being? Something interdimensional? Let us know what you think in the comments section. We'll be reading. Trailcams always capture the most interesting of things. This next capture is one of them. A hunter monitoring deer in the area set up his trail camera to capture the animals within the part of the woods. This was to inform his next actions. While the trail cam did indeed capture deer, he noticed something in the background of the image. Yes, what you are seeing is the zoomed-in image, but can you see it? It looks like a screaming man, doesn't it? My first thought when I saw it was perhaps that's a man materializing from a different dimension, which might explain the screaming. I mean, perhaps it's a painful process. My able intern, however, thinks it looks like an alien, and perhaps it might have a cloaking device activated, which is why it looks like that. I mean, that sounds much wilder and more unbelievable than my interdimensional man theory. What do you think, though? Are we way ahead of ourselves, or do we have answers that could help? Please share in the comments section, as I'd love to hear them. Trail cameras have been very effective in capturing candid moments in the wildlife. However, a trail cam owner was shocked when she retrieved her device, and instead of animals, she was met with this. In the photo, you've got two women in the buff crouched down in the middle of the forest, totally absorbed in some mysterious thing on the ground. When you zoom in, you'll notice that there is a dead deer. The scene gets pretty eerie because it looks like these women are up to something unsettling, like they're having a feast on the lifeless deer. The bizarre nature of the scene has sparked speculation and theories. Some folks are throwing around the notion that these might be witches up to some kind of ritual, while others are floating the possibility that these figures could be skinwalkers. You know, those mythical beings from folklore known for transforming into animals and humans. What do you guys make of the situation? Before we move on to the next video, just another reminder. If you still haven't liked, commented, or subscribed to the channel yet, please do so now. I wouldn't want to send that Bigfoot after you. And don't forget to share with your friends and family as well. Thank you very much. The eerie atmosphere of a school after hours takes a chilling turn in this unsettling footage reminiscent of scenes from the It movie. The diligent custodian enters an empty classroom to tidy up, only to encounter a peculiar and disconcerting sight. A red balloon seemingly out of place among the others scattered across the room. As the custodian goes about his clearing duties, an uncanny occurrence unfolds. The red balloon appears to follow him with an unnerving precision. While the other balloons remain stationary, this solitary red orb exhibits a calculated movement as if possessed by an unseen force. The whole situation feels so strange that it makes you wonder. Is this just a weird accident, some crazy physics thing, or is there something supernatural going on with that balloon? And the fact that it looks like those creepy red balloons from Pennywise, well, just makes it even more unsettling. The wild and quite frankly bizarre capture. Just take a look. What do you see when you look at the capture? A giant lizard? A lizard man? A man in a costume? What exactly? I mean, it could be any of these things, but taking a second look at the capture, you'll realize that there's no way that's a man in a costume. Why do I say that? Well, take a look at the body proportions and the limbs and all that you are seeing. Does it look anything human? I mean, even if a man was wearing a costume, you'd see his body structure in it. And that's definitely not what a human structure is. So where then do we put this? The answer is simple, yet not so simple. How, you ask? Well, it's definitely a lizard, which could make it a giant lizard, and humanoid, which could make it a lizard man. None of the cryptids and otherworldly creatures we've captured so far match this. So what do you think? Lizard or lizard man? Tell us in the comments section. This security camera, positioned on the streets of the UK, recorded a baffling event that has left many utterly perplexed. It starts as a seemingly peaceful night with a noisy motorcycle going by. Now, I know you might be scanning intently for the main subject, but it has nothing to do with the motorcycle rider. Shift your gaze ahead to the building in front of the camera, the one next to the red car. Descending from the rooftop of the building, a peculiar entity moves behind the red car, then climbs onto the vehicle and continues its descent, eventually crossing the road. However, as it reaches the center of the road, the creature vanishes. At first, it might appear like some sort of rodent or something similar, but the way it vanishes defies all logic. This leaves us with one question. What in the world was that? We all know that trees have life, hence they reproduce, grow, and die. Sometimes it's even hard to believe that they're living because they're so inanimate and look lifeless, but this footage will change your mind. In Maryland, a person passing by stumbled upon a truly bizarre sight. Trees seemingly on the move. It's the kind of thing you might expect to see in a Harry Potter movie. The trees, instead of standing still in the forest, decide to take a stroll, making their way from the woods to behind a building. The footage goes on for minutes, adding to the surrealness of the scene. Now, as whimsical as this looks, there are debates about what's going on. Some folks are sticking to the idea that the trees are moving, while others argue that there might be a hidden logger behind the house cutting and relocating the trees, creating the illusion of them moving. Since the person in the video didn't get closer to investigate, it's a bit of a head-scratcher, leaving us to wonder about the tree-walking mystery. If you've made it this far, could you please hit the like button, subscribe, and even drop a comment? If you haven't already, it goes a long way to make it possible to create more videos for you. Thank you for doing so. Moving back to the day's episode. Oh, we've got a little troublemaker on our hands. Caught in the act, this mischievous companion was frozen in place when its owner found it meddling with the tap. The guilt is practically written all over its adorable face as the water pours all over it. I can almost imagine the internal debate happening in its tiny head. Should I make a run for it or face the consequences? The moment of realization is pure gold, and the gradual head movement after the initial shock adds a touch of humor. It's almost as if the cat thought staying perfectly still could make it invisible. Classic pet antics. What do you think this furry friend was up to with the tap? Now, what do we have here? Some possessed insect? Well, that's what I thought when I saw it, but turns out this creature is what we call a wasp-mantid fly. Just imagine a wasp and a praying mantis deciding to have a bizarre love child. That's the wasp-mantid fly for you. It's got the sleek, slender body of a wasp, but those front legs, pure mantis vibes. It looks like the insect world decided to experiment with genetic fusion just to keep things interesting. But here's where it gets even more fascinating. This critter is a bit of a predator with the taste for small insects and larvae. When it's mealtime, it goes all ninja with those mantis-like legs, snatching up its prey with precision. But wait, there's more. The wasp-mantid fly has a neat trick up its sleeve. It's able to mimic the appearance of wasps, rocking the yellow and black colors to confuse both predators and unsuspecting prey. Let's just say that if you lived in the insect world, this would be the last creature you would want to encounter. Is nature now playing magic tricks on us? A man was driving by a field when he noticed something strange. As he looked through his window, he saw a brush burning, so he parked to check it out. But that's where things get odd. When he looked out this time, the fire was gone. When he went back into the car and looked out through his glass window, he noticed the fire. But when he tried to use his naked eyes, there was simply nothing there. I mean, how is this even possible? The thing is, well, we don't know, but even David Blaine could never stop or explain this strange phenomenon. Our fascination with the unknown takes a peculiar turn with the discovery of an unconventional artifact, a miniature flying saucer adorned with cryptic symbols and detachable parts. It's like stumbling upon a cosmic puzzle, leaving everyone perplexed about its origins and purposes. As people examine this enigmatic object, the air is charged with speculation. Is it an alien gadget, a piece of extraterrestrial technology that defies our earthly comprehension? Or, on the flip side, could it be a creation of human ingenuity, wrapped in mystery, to challenge our intellect? Share your thoughts. Imagine this. You're casually grabbing a bottle of water from the fridge, and bam, it turns into ice as if you've got some secret superpower. How cool would that be? Stop imagining, it happens in the next clip. Unfortunately, scientists have an explanation for it. So the deal is that the water in the bottle gets supercooled in the fridge, meaning it stays liquid below its usual freezing point. But the trick is not to mess with it, no opening the cap or shaking the bottle. The moment you do that, it's like a magic spell breaks and the water freezes right before your eyes. However, skeptics hold the idea that this is simply a glitch in the Matrix. Since everyone is entitled to their opinions, let us know in the comments section what you also think this is. Oh my goodness, humanity is doomed. Just take a look at this footage. If you've not seen the movie Life, then you'll not understand why I'm panicking. This dark mass attempting to swallow the crab, and it reminds me of Calvin from the movie. I mean, it just looks the same. Fingers crossed that it's just a case of internet trickery, because if not, we might be looking at a real-life remake of Life, and that's a horror scenario none of us have signed up for. Naturally, I did some digging around and discovered that there's a possibility of it being a marine flatworm. If you don't know anything about these creatures, perhaps you may want to go back and look them up now before you find yourself exclaiming, "We are Venom!" On that note, if you still haven't liked, commented, or subscribed to the channel yet, please do so now before I send that creature after you. On a more serious note, it really helps us out a ton and gives us the opportunity to keep making these videos for you. Please do so and share this video with your friends and family. Thank you very much. Do you believe that some bird species can be demonized? If you don't, how do you explain this? Yes, that's a bird screaming at the homeowner. We're unsure why it's doing so, but it doesn't stop even after the filming stops. I'm not an avian expert, so I can't tell which exact species it is, but what do you make of it? Do you think it's asking for help? Do you think it's giving the owner a piece of its mind, or are we simply looking at some demonic bird possibly raining curses at the homeowner? Share your thoughts, I'd love to hear them. If you have similar experiences, don't hesitate to add them too. In another bizarre encounter, a person walking in the streets at night stumbled upon a truly unsettling sight. A mysterious woman was standing still, observing passers-by with an eerie intensity. As the person filming approached, a more detailed look revealed something profoundly unsettling about her appearance. The woman's eyes were pitch black, devoid of any discernible humanity, and her face exhibited an otherworldly quality. The camera captured the unnerving moment as her gaze seemed to follow its movement. The overall impression is deeply unsettling, prompting the hope that this might be a Halloween stunt or some form of performance art, that an encounter with something beyond the realm of normalcy. In the skies over Colombia, an observer became witness to a surreal phenomenon, a colossal human shadow cast against the expanse of the heavens. While clouds are known to occasionally take on diverse shapes, the distinctive features of this ethereal figure sparked a sense of intrigue and skepticism. Clouds usually take on all sorts of fun shapes, but the sharp and purposeful lines of this massive figure made people wonder more than usual. The clear outline of a head and shoulders got everyone thinking. Was it a mere play of light and shadow, or did the heavens momentarily unveil a glimpse of something beyond our comprehension? A TikToker had ventured into the wilderness in the middle of the night in his car. Why they do that, I can't tell, but as he was driving, he heard a distant cry of a woman. He looked around to see if he would spot anything, but there was no one in sight. Still concerned about whoever was crying, he drove further into the darkness toward the sound, but he only ended up behind a gate that had the inscription, "No trespassers." Naturally, he ignored it, got out of the car, and continued his search on foot. It was then he came across a mysterious shrine-like rock with flowers on it that made it look like a memorial ground. That didn't deter him as he continued walking in the direction of the cry. This led him to a lake. What was unsettling, though, was that when he reached the lake, the sound became more intense. This time, the sound surrounded him, coming from all directions. Spooked by this, the TikToker gathered the little courage he had and ran away from there.
So scared. I keep hearing something around me. I don't know what it is. This is literally the worst experience I've ever had. I'm freaking out. I should not have come here.
The whole thing is very puzzling and reminds me of the crying spirit of La Llorona. Talking about this will require a special video on her. If you're interested, type La Llorona in the comments section. If we do get enough comments, we may do a special. Until then, perhaps this will teach him a lesson to stay out of the woods at night. We don't know what could have happened if he'd stayed longer. Late night drives. I have very beautiful and fond memories of such trips, especially when you have your buddies along with you. Despite my numerous trips, I encountered some of what I'm about to show you. The footage starts off as an innocent documentation of someone's road trip. As the footage continues, we realize that there are no cars on the road aside from the one from which the video is being recorded. The streetlights and the headlights give it an eerie feel. A few seconds later, we notice that there's a figure just ahead of the car, and in less than a second, the figure dashes to the left. There's no way that's human. The first and initial guesses are that we are dealing with something paranormal. Narrowing it down, we think it might be a ghost. What do you think, though? I mean, there's little to work with, but what could it be aside from a ghost? Diving into the world of conspiracy theories, there's a buzz going around suggesting that NASA might be tinkering with digital maps to hide specific spots on Earth. In this video, someone takes us on a virtual tour, zooming in on a particular area until we land on this perplexing site with a weird pattern that looks a bit like a wall. The oddity of this place gets people wondering, sparking all sorts of theories about hidden agendas and deliberately keeping information under wraps. As we mull over the idea of secret operations in the digital space, there are lingering questions. Is NASA really up to something fishy, concealing certain places? And if they are, what kind of secrets could these hidden spots be holding? Or is this just a case of misinterpretation and coincidence? I hope the FBI doesn't come knocking on my door for this. Our next captivating footage transports us back in time, raising the age-old question: are dinosaurs real or just confined to the realms of history and imagination? The video captures a moment that appears to showcase a little T-Rex being fed, adding a layer of fascination and awe to the mystery surrounding these ancient creatures. Throughout history, we've dug up skeletal remains hinting at the existence of dinosaurs in eras long before humans came into the picture. But now, this footage seems to suggest the wild notion of dinosaurs making a comeback from extinction. It's like a spark of curiosity and deep thinking. The thought of running into these colossal creatures in the here and now shakes up our understanding of how nature works. It's like a giant leap beyond what we thought we knew about the natural order of things. In Colombia, residents were left bewildered when they spotted a peculiar sight: a woman standing atop a tree. This woman appeared as a dark figure, and her presence had an unsettling effect on the local dogs, causing them to howl in response. The eerie combination of a mysterious figure perched on a tree and the howling of dogs certainly makes this encounter quite perplexing. It's challenging to draw any definitive conclusions from this description alone, but we'd love to hear from you. What do you make of this whole thing? Tell us in the comment section. Has your life ever been so boring that you sought out thrills to make it exciting? Well, that's exactly what these young men are doing. Aspiring to be YouTubers of the spooky world, they visited an area of the woods known to have such encounters, with high hopes that they too might capture something on camera. And this happened.
I don't know, mate. What was that? Huh? What was that?
Yes, something came out of nowhere and scared them.
I'm wigging out. I don't know.
Unsure of what it was, they ran till they were out of the woods. If you pay attention to the audio in the background, you'll realize it sounds like a pig, but the boys believe it was also humanoid. This brings to mind only one cryptid: the Pigman. This is believed to be the spirit of a man who butchered pigs until they killed him in vengeance. Angry, his spirit is still believed to roam the earth and attack individuals when provoked. While I'm all for some Pigman action, I think the boys may have actually encountered a wild pig and not the Pigman as they suspected. What do you think, though? If you still haven't hit that like button, subscribed, or even dropped a comment, could you do it now? Thank you very much. It means a lot to us and allows us to create more content like this. Moving on to the next clip.
That cloud ain't moving though. Almost looks like something circular in there.
On December the 2nd, 2024, a woman in Long Beach, California, reported a peculiar phenomenon in the sky. It's a cloud that appears to be completely motionless. While clouds typically drift with the wind, this one remains stationary for over 10 minutes. Some suggest the possibility of a cloaked UFO, with the theory being that advanced extraterrestrial technology might use clouds as a natural disguise. Others propose that it could be a fake cloud, perhaps part of weather modification experiments or some other unexplained technological phenomenon. But what do you think this could be?
Looks like freaking 2 eyes. Doesn't that look like 2 eyes? Look.
Yeah.
It looks like 2 eyes now.
It looks like
It's freaking weird.
It's pink, my favorite color.
The idea of having doppelgangers of ourselves somewhere in the world has fascinated people for centuries. While it's considered a theory or a fun concept, some claim it might be closer to fact than fiction.
Disculpa, ¿este es el barrio del Encanto o tú eres el encanto de este barrio? Mira.
Take this recent footage as an example. A man walking through the streets of Colombia stumbled upon a young woman who bore an uncanny resemblance to actress Scarlett Johansson. While her face was slightly rounder, the similarities were striking enough to make them look like twins. While some chalk it up to the limited variability in human features across the global population, others find the idea of doppelgangers eerie compelling. What's your take? Is this just a random resemblance, or could there be more to the concept of having another you out there in the world? Maybe glitches, government experiments? Sounds crazy, but you never really know.
Disculpa, ¿este es el barrio del Encanto o tú eres el encanto de este barrio? Mira.
A hiker was out exploring the mountains when he stumbled upon something extraordinary. As he climbed higher into the highlands, he noticed a large creature perched on a massive rock. The creature had thick white fur and was sitting upright, almost human-like in posture. From its size and proportions, this was no ordinary animal. Its massive frame and humanoid shape resembled a Bigfoot. The sighting has stirred up quite a bit of speculation. Could this be an extremely rare version of the elusive Bigfoot, an albino variant? Many people have shared their theories, but no one has come up with a definitive explanation. What do you think? Possession. Most people see it as people getting taken over by some sort of entity or spirit. But is that really the case? Well, let's take a look at this footage. In the clip, a young man is seen writhing in a dirty gutter, his body thrashing wildly. No one knows what led to this moment or why he suddenly lost control. 1 minute he was fine, and the next he was flailing uncontrollably, eventually ending up in the gutter. The behavior is erratic and his movements seem unnatural, fueling the belief that this could be a case of demonic possession or spiritual influence. But skeptics say it could have been a medical condition or even a psychological break that caused his actions. What are your thoughts? Bruce Xaudia, a wildlife videographer on YouTube, recently explored the Sunshine Coast in Canada, a region known for Bigfoot sightings. After speaking to a local who claimed to have seen a Sasquatch in the area, Bruce decided to investigate the location himself during a hike with his family. While hiking, he arrived at a field and began hearing strange noises coming from the tree line. Curious, he took out his camera and started filming, zooming in on the area. Because it was so bright outside, he couldn't clearly make out what he was capturing in real time. Later, upon reviewing the footage at home, Bruce noticed something unusual. Behind a tree, there appeared to be a figure crouched on the ground. The figure was difficult to identify, but Bruce believes it could be a Sasquatch. What do you think?
And I'm going to color in what I see, red, and then dotted red, that there's something else behind the bushes there that could be extension of the object.
What is that?
What came to mind when you heard the audio? If you weren't paying attention, listen again. Does that sound like anything you know? If you answered no, it's the same situation for us. No one on my team knows what we're dealing with, and neither does the paranormal community. The individual who uploaded the clip thought the sounds were unusual, which is why he recorded. He was hoping for answers, but the clip ended up dividing the community. There were some who thought it sounded prehistoric, like a dinosaur. Some were very skeptical, stating that such a thing couldn't be true. They even accused the poster of faking and reversing the audio. There were others who also claimed to have been hearing such sounds near where they lived, Alaska to be precise. Having presented all the evidence to you, you've seen the clip too. What do you think we're dealing with here? Let us know in the comments section, especially if this is something you have heard too.
What is that?
Moving on, we have this chilling image taken by a man who decided to explore an abandoned building one night. Venturing out alone, he got closer to the eerie structure when something caught his eye. It was a creature crouched on the ground in front of the building. According to the man, the creature ran off as soon as it noticed him, but not before he managed to snap this photo. I've looked at it several times and I'm not able to confidently make out what it might be. You see it on your screens too. What do you think we're dealing with? A hunter was out in the woods tracking deer when he suddenly saw something strange walking just meters away from him. Completely stunned by the sight, he quickly gathered his composure and managed to take this picture. The creature, estimated to be 8 feet tall or even more, casually strolled by. Take a good look. Most people are convinced it's Bigfoot. Naturally, with all the recent Bigfoot clips, everyone's wondering if this is the real deal. This clip has a lot of weird things going on. First, we've got a couple of adults playing with their backs turned to the forest. I can write a whole dissertation on why this isn't safe, but let's move on. As they're having fun, a figure moves behind them and no one notices. They only noticed it while reviewing clips at home. They shared it with the paranormal community, and once they are there, they're divided. Some think it's genuine, whereas others think it's staged. You've seen the clip. Which do you think it is?
Me bajé los pies.
Around the world, many traditions may seem unusual to outsiders, and one such practice is the Goraba festival celebrated in Gumatapura, India. This unique festival revolves around cow dung, a substance considered sacred and purifying in Hindu culture. Here's how it unfolds. Villagers collect cow dung, which is then taken to the local temple to be blessed by priests. Once consecrated, it becomes the centerpiece of the festivities. Participants use the dung for a variety of activities, most notably engaging in a cow dung fight where they gleefully throw it at each other. This tradition, while unusual, is deeply rooted in the belief that cow dung symbolizes prosperity and good luck. It's also seen as a way to foster community spirit and celebrate the connection to their agrarian roots. Would you ever consider joining such a unique cultural tradition? Next, we've got this footage from a home security camera set up in the kitchen. In the clip, a woman is busy doing something when out of nowhere, the lower compartment of the fridge starts to open and close on its own. The woman, visibly startled, turns around to face the fridge, and her reaction is priceless. You can tell she's completely freaked out. She doesn't waste any time either. She fast walks right out of the kitchen, clearly not wanting to stick around to see what might happen next. Here's where it gets even weirder. After she leaves, the fridge continues its bizarre behavior, opening and closing all on its own, as if controlled by an invisible force. Most people believe this is ghost activity, but what do you think? Wow, and yes, that's a man lying next to a massive bone. Before you scream giant, it's rumored to be the thigh bone of a titanosaur. This gigantic bone was discovered back in 2013 by a farmer in Argentina. He noticed part of it was sticking out of the ground, and that's when the experts were called in to dig it out. What they unearthed was an 8-foot-tall bone. It's nearly the same height as the man lying beside it, which really puts in a perspective just how colossal these creatures once were. Titanosaurs are believed to have been some of the largest dinosaurs to ever walk the earth, and this bone alone speaks to their sheer size. It's mind-blowing to think that something this enormous was roaming our planet millions of years ago. Mesmerizing, right?
Here we go. Here it is. Are you freaking kidding me right now?
For several days, residents of New Jersey have been spotting and filming strange drones hovering in the area, sparking unease throughout the community. These drones reportedly feature 3 lights arranged in a triangular pattern, an unusual design not typical of standard drones. What's even more intriguing, the FBI had taken an interest in the case. If these were just regular drones, why would a federal agency step in? Could they be advanced spy technology, possibly from a foreign government, or could they be something far more extraordinary, like evidence of extraterrestrial activity? What's your take?
What is that?
Next, we've got a clip from 2020 that had many in the paranormal community talking when it was first released.
This is the exact spot that I just...
The man you see on your screen had been experiencing paranormal encounters and decided to share her experiences online. Sure, this was modern times, but it was still 2022, and many were still reserved when it came to cryptids and creatures of the night. The man on your screen, however, insisted his experiences were true, and they dared him to go live and show proof of the so-called experiences he'd been having. Everyone expected it to be a no-show and a flop. That was until something was caught in the background. Its movements were not human, and it appeared to have fur all over. This made many who were live with him conclude they were seeing either a dogman or a werewolf. The man in question had shared earlier experiences with these cryptids, which many didn't believe at first. But once this clip went viral, that changed, and many believed him. Some remained skeptical, however, stating that he could have arranged and staged the whole thing. You've seen the clip. Which of these instances do you think is most likely?
This is the exact spot that I just...
Next, we've got this footage that was shared by a man claiming he'd captured a Bigfoot in the woods and brought it home. In the video, you can see the creature bound by its hands and legs lying motionless. At first glance, it appears lifeless, and you'd think it was dead. But then, unexpectedly, the creature opens its eyes. It's a startling moment, and it looks directly into the camera. He was showing this off as his trophy, and just like the previous clip, not many are buying it. So what do you think? Is this genuine evidence of a Bigfoot, or could it be something else entirely? Here we have another strange case that some are calling a matrix glitch. A woman was parked in a lot when she noticed something really bizarre. There were 3 identical cars parked near her. One was in front and the other 2 were on either side. The cars were the same make, model, and even the same color. Now here's the really strange part. Although it's not visible in the footage, the woman claimed that all 3 cars had the same license plate number. That's just too weird to be a coincidence. What do you think is going on here? A glitch in the Matrix or something else entirely?
Someone called the cops on these lights.
On December the 4th, 2024, a woman driving at night through Orange County encountered something extraordinary. She pulled over and began filming as strange lights hovered above the ocean in a distinct triangular formation, the point facing downward. Moments later, the lights began to descend into the water, escalating the mystery. Just then, police cars sped by with their sirens blaring, adding an eerie twist to the unfolding scene. Orange County has long been whispered about as a UFO hotspot, with some speculating about hidden underwater alien bases in the area. Could these lights be proof of something otherworldly, or is there a simpler explanation, like drones or a light show? If that's the case, where were the sirens rushing to, and why was this not covered in the news? So many questions, yet little to no answers. What's your take? Coincidence, technology, or something truly out of this world?
Someone called the cops on these lights.
That is a spaceship like a... That is a... Tell me what else that could be. That's a spaceship. They found a spaceship.
A woman driving on the highway found herself behind a truck carrying a massive disc-shaped object covered in a cloth and securely tied down. The object's shape bore a striking resemblance to a UFO. Could this be the real deal? Many are skeptical that the government or any agency would transport something as sensitive as a UFO in plain sight, especially in broad daylight. It seems counterintuitive for a subject surrounded by secrecy and controversy to be handled so openly. On the other hand, some believe this could be a calculated move either as a deliberate misdirection or as an unclassified transport of something mundane that happens to resemble a UFO. Others propose it could simply be a prop for a movie or a piece of experimental equipment unrelated to extraterrestrials. What do you think?
That is a spaceship like a. That is a. Tell me what else that could be. That's a spaceship. They found a spaceship.
Matrix glitches are some of the most bizarre and mind-bending phenomena that people report all over the world, and this next clip is no exception. A man parked his car in a lot, went about his business, and returned to find something completely unreal. There, lodged into his car, was a tree, but not in an ordinary way. This tree appeared to have grown through the front passenger seat from the ground up through the car's interior. What's even stranger is that you can see the full reflection of the tree's top in the car's windshield, as though it had been there for years. But the man had only parked there a few hours ago. How could a tree have grown into the car in such a short time? It seems that the only explanation for this was a Matrix glitch. Or do you have another explanation? A man visited Clingman Dome, taking several beautiful photos of the sunset. But after returning home and reviewing the images, he noticed something strange. In the top right corner of the sky, there was an odd-looking object. This object didn't resemble any known aircraft, and its triangular shape stood out against the evening sky. While it's difficult to say exactly what it is just from the photo, the owner believes that they captured a UFO. What do you think? Could this be proof of something extraterrestrial or something else? Let's head to the UK, where intense winds are wreaking havoc. It's just one more chapter in a string of extreme weather events across the globe. Some folks are saying that Earth is fed up with humans and is trying to shake us off. Honestly, I've got a few theories of my own. But jokes aside, why are we seeing so many strange weather phenomenon back to back? Could it be climate change amping up the intensity and frequency of these events? Shifts in atmospheric patterns? Or perhaps it's just the natural cycles of weather hitting us a little harder than usual? What's your take? Is it science, bad luck, or something more ominous? Let's hear your theories. If bugs make you uncomfortable, skip ahead by 30 seconds. If you're still here, we can assume you are unfazed by them.
Okay, so I thought this was dust for like a week. And then if you look really closely, it turns out that they're little tiny bugs. And I'm freaking out because they're literally everywhere in my kitchen.
This young lady on your screen has a bug infestation problem unlike any you have ever seen in your life. Well, a bit of an exaggeration, but you get the point. She's got bugs that look like little dots, and they kinda get everywhere. Her walls, desks, and even her bottles. She initially thought it was dust until the dust began to move. She tried all she could to get rid of them, but nothing seemed to be working. She tried asking for help on our platforms, and surely enough, she received the much-needed help. It turns out they're called grain mites, and she's not the only one who have had them visiting. Has any of you had to deal with these? Which method did you find to be most effective in getting rid of them? She might just be watching the video.
They like to gather on the corners. Does anyone know what these are? Please tell me. I need help.
Skinwalkers are known to be one of the trickiest and most elusive creatures in lore. They can shapeshift into any form, whether it be an animal or a person. But they have one flaw. Though they can mimic shapes, they never truly get the transformation perfect. These small imperfections are often subtle and hard to notice unless you're really paying attention. In this case, a woman was out shopping when she encountered something strange. She spotted this dog sitting in a stroller while its owner casually browsed the store. But the dog was staring directly into the camera, unblinking, with wide eyes that seemed unnatural. Now, it's not every day that you hear about a skinwalker being caught on camera, let alone in the form of a pet. But look at those eyes. There's definitely something off. Could this really be a skinwalker in the guise of a dog? Last time I checked, chemicals and processed food items aren't supposed to move on their own. So how is this even possible? To provide context, a woman brought an Oreo and was enjoying it like any other snack. It was all good until she opened one cookie and dropped it almost immediately. It might have looked weird, but she had a good reason. As you can see in the footage, the cream inside the Oreo was wiggling on the counter even after she dropped it. How is this possible? Oreo cream isn't supposed to move like that, right? Is there something about these cookies we don't know? Share your thoughts.
That's amazing. That's a great view. You can see we just launched at the perfect time here, so we're catching sunlight off of the top of the Earth's atmosphere. It's reflecting off of the plume of the rocket.
Apart from the reports of strange drones, another mysterious phenomenon that has captured people's attention is this: space jellyfish in the sky. The so-called space jellyfish resemble large glowing jellyfish-like forms hovering in the atmosphere. Their translucent bodies and trailing appendages give them an ethereal, otherworldly appearance. While many speculate that these jellyfish could be natural phenomenon, atmospheric events, or perhaps experimental technology, others lean toward extraterrestrial explanations. Some scientists suggest they may be a rare optical illusion caused by weather conditions, while others propose they could be space debris reflecting sunlight in a peculiar way. What do you think?
Oh my God! Oh my God!
No nos lo pueden negar. Mirad, un ovni sobrevolando San Sebastián.
Next up, we have this fascinating clip captured by a woman vacationing in Spain. While taking in a breathtaking view from a high vantage point overlooking the beach, she inadvertently filmed something extraordinary. As always, the video starts innocently enough, panning across the picturesque landscape of buildings, land, and sea. But then she spots something unusual, a distinct disc-shaped object hovering above the building. It glimmers with a smooth metallic-like appearance, staying in view for only a couple of seconds before vanishing into thin air. Up until she posted this clip, the woman in question had never posted anything paranormal related. Her posts were travel vlog related, which made this particular clip an interesting deviation from her norm. Many in the paranormal community are taking this to mean the clip is a genuine encounter. But what do you think? Did the clip convince you, or do we have reservations?
No nos lo pueden negar. Mirad, un ovni sobrevolando San Sebastián.
A couple went hiking up Klingman Dome while making their way along a woodland path when they noticed something unsettling. It was a creature standing in the trees watching them. Despite feeling uneasy, they decided to keep moving. But the creature did not stay hidden. It seemed to follow them from a distance, silently trailing them through the woods. And then finally it stepped out from behind the trees, revealing itself fully. That's when the couple snapped this photo. What they captured was astonishing. It was an 8-foot-tall figure that looked unmistakably like Bigfoot. They were in complete shock, frozen in disbelief by the sight of the massive creature. They later shared this to the paranormal platforms they were a part of, stating they might have encountered Bigfoot. What do you guys think? In this clip, an anonymous man shared a very curious sighting online. He managed to capture something strange in the sky. It was an object with a bizarre shape. According to him, the object was roughly the size of a car, but he couldn't quite figure out what it was. The footage shows this unidentified object hovering in the sky, almost as if he doesn't belong there. And people are buzzing about it, with many speculating that it could be a UFO. What say you? For this one, I'm just gonna shush and let you watch.
Wow.
Oh la la.
Oh wow.
Oh, a big wave, eh? No? Oh la la. Oh my god. Oh my god. Like a sheep.
Mama Nature is beautiful, isn't she? How many of you knew it was possible for a glacier to flip? If you didn't know that, consider this your free tuition. If you're waiting for the conspiracy, well, there's none. I just thought this was beautiful. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, this can happen. And this happens many times.
Vocês ao coelho, água, mano. Água.
This intriguing footage captures a striking phenomenon. One half of the horizon is cloaked in a massive solid gray cloud, while the other half remains bright blue, adorned with small, fluffy white clouds. The sharp divide between these two halves of the sky has left many viewers scratching their heads. Interestingly, such dramatic contrasts often have natural explanations. It could be a large, isolated cloud formation like a cumulonimbus or stratus cloud, which can form distinct patches due to differing air currents. Another explanation might be a weather front, a boundary where two contrasting air masses collide. For instance, a cold front could push a dense layer of cloud into one area while leaving the surrounding sky clear and bright. Although this phenomenon is likely a product of atmospheric dynamics, its unusual appearance can't help but spark speculation. What's your take? Is this just a fascinating weather event, or could there be something more to the story? While you try to decode that, you might want to take a good look at this one. A man was exploring the great outdoors when he came across what's on your screen. Not sure what he was looking at, he was stunned and stopped in his tracks. As he tried to make out what it was, it suddenly yanked or suddenly moved one direction and disappeared out of view. If he didn't plan this, and it's no hoax, then he was definitely going to be startled. Well, he swears it's real, so let's go with that. He uploaded it on the paranormal platform seeking answers, but all he got is a lot of doubt and questions. Do you think it's real? If it is, what are we dealing with here? If it's not, how do you think they pulled it off? What you're looking at here is a 30-million-year-old praying mantis perfectly preserved in a piece of amber. This incredible fossil was discovered in the Dominican Republic and has been remarkably well preserved over all those millions of years, allowing us a rare glimpse into a distant past. The amber has essentially frozen this ancient mantis in time, capturing it in such stunning detail. You can still see its delicate body, limbs, and even some of its fine features. It's fascinating to think that this creature lived long before humans ever walked the earth and is now immortalized in amber for us to study and admire. Nature has its own way of preserving its history, and this is just one breathtaking example.
Presta atención a lo que va a suceder. Mira. Los tipos desapareció. Por eso, mira que los tipos están conversando y pasan desapercibidos de lo que está aconteciendo a su alrededor. Es como especie de un espectro. Mira. Nuevamente se aparece y desaparece.
The video shows 3 men sitting outside their home at night, chatting and engrossed in their phones. While they seem unaware, a small miniature humanoid figure briskly walks by on the opposite side of their gathering. The first pass goes unnoticed. Later, the creature walks by again, but none of the men react. As the footage continues, the small figure moves back and forth repeatedly, yet the men remain oblivious until the clip ends. What could have held the men's attention so strongly that they failed to notice such a peculiar presence nearby? Could it be that they were distracted by their conversation, or perhaps they couldn't perceive the creature at all in real time? Skeptics argue that it might be a cleverly edited video. Others suggest that the figure could be something supernatural, like the ghost of a child, given its humanoid appearance. Believers in folklore propose that it could indeed be a duende. What about you? What do you think it is?
Es como especie de un espectro. Mira. Nuevamente se aparece y desaparece.
A traveler who flew into Cleveland Hopkins International Airport yesterday and is now being observed, isolated and observed for flu-like symptoms.
The impact of COVID-19 is still fresh in our minds, and now a concerning report has emerged. In Cleveland, a man who recently arrived from Congo was hospitalized with a severe flu-like illness. Authorities acted swiftly, quarantining him and monitoring those who came into contact with him to prevent potential spread. Reports from Congo indicate the presence of a similar flu-like sickness that has tragically claimed lives in the region. This has raised alarm since it's similar to what happened with COVID-19, but was dismissed as a common flu until the situation spiraled into a global crisis. Health officials are working diligently to identify the nature of this illness, ensuring containment and care. While we don't yet know if this is the start of something more serious, the incident serves as a stark reminder of the importance of vigilance and early intervention. Let's prioritize safety, stay informed, and take precautions as we await further updates. I'm pretty sure none of us is ready for another global pandemic.
A traveler who flew into Cleveland Hopkins International Airport yesterday and is now being observed, isolated and observed for flu-like symptoms.
See that? There's nobody there. Automation. I work at an automated dock. All these machines right here, there's no people. Hardly any people on this thing. This is what they're fighting about. I work at an automated dock right here, Port of LA, Long Beach. Keep fighting, brothers. Keep fighting.
It's undeniable that technology has greatly enhanced our workforce, making tasks faster, more efficient, and often safer. But let's not forget the other side of this coin. Technology is also replacing jobs, leaving many workers out of work. Take a look at this footage captured by one of the workers at a port. In the video, you'll notice something striking. There are no humans in sight. Instead, it's just machines fully automated, taking on the tasks that were once done by men and women. This is exactly why port strikes are happening. Workers are being replaced and their livelihoods are at stake. But what happens when the few human roles left at these ports are taken over by machines? Where do those thousands of workers go? What becomes of the people who were sent home as technology continues to advance and take over? This is the harsh reality we are facing, and it's a question worth asking as we move forward into a more automated world.
See that? There's nobody there. Automation. I work at an automated dock. All these machines right here, there's no people. Hardly any people on this thing. This is what they're fighting about. I work at an automated dock right here, Port of LA, Long Beach. Keep fighting, brothers. Keep fighting.
There's a reason places get abandoned, but sometimes people just don't seem to get the memo. A group of teenagers decided to explore an abandoned school in the middle of the night, thinking they'd be fine, but they were in for a terrifying surprise. As they wandered through the dark, desolate hallways, they reached an old, cracked window. That's when they saw it. Standing in the window, a girl with her head bowed down. Her figure was still almost lifeless, and her presence was so unsettling that it sent chills down their spines. The teens snapped a photograph, not entirely sure what they'd just witnessed, but the moment they did, fear overtook them. With their hearts racing, they left the school faster than they had come, not daring to look back. What was that they'd just seen? Was it a ghost? A spirit trapped in the ruins of the school? Or whatever it was enough to make them run without a second thought. And with that, we end today's episode. Thank you for staying with us. Before you go, are there clips and videos you think we should have featured by now that we haven't? Well, the good news is you can share them with us and we'll post them crediting you. Please send any such footage, including ones you recorded yourself, to us via classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing and include it in our next episode. We can't wait to receive what you have. Share this video with someone you love, and I'll see you in the next one.